This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm finally joined by the final Smith brother on my venture out here to Texas ahead of Canelo-Smith. Liam, how is life? How are you doing?
Not too bad, mate. Can't really complain. Obviously, mad situation we're all in, but healthy, so can't really complain.
Liam, what's this experience like for yourself? Is it a surreal one preparing your brother to face the pound-for-pound star Canelo, the man you've previously faced?
No, it's not surreal because I think he's fully entitled to be here, and I think he'll show that on Saturday. But it's mad seeing him prepare for it and being here, being in a bubble, seeing what should be a huge fight happen in a pandemic. That's what's mad and that's what's strange about this whole situation. But the other question, no, he's fully fully worth his position here, and I think he'll prove that on Saturday night.
So I've just asked your brothers that I'll pick up on what you've just said there about this fight happening in a pandemic. I'm sure you'd have all loved your brother, and everybody in the world would have loved to have seen this with a packed out stadium on Saturday. You'd have had thousands in attendance at a press conference at the weigh-in, coming to tune in to watch it. Given that we're in a bubble, it's a very different circumstance to what obviously when you fought Canelo. Is there a sense of frustration about him like that, or?
No, it's not frustration because you've got to go with you've got to play the hand you dealt. You know what I mean? This is new for Canelo also. Canelo's never lived in a bubble. Canelo's never been told what he hasn't, can and can't do, and Canelo's obviously getting told you can't leave this hotel, mate. So it's new for both, but it's a little bit harsh on. I feel for Callum in the sense that he should be experiencing a full mega fight with Canelo here, and as you say, hundreds of media. I know the media thing's a bit of a ball ache, and I know it's probably bad for you to hear, but for the fighter, especially making weight and stuff, the media starts a ball ache, but medias make fighters bigger names, and he should be experiencing a full media schedule, a full capacity crowd, grand arrivals, hundreds outside hotels, thousands, and we're not getting that, but we're also experiencing a different experience, one we can talk about in years to come. He fought Canelo Alvarez, and he beat Canelo Alvarez in a world pandemic.
See, everybody knows what Callum's like. He's a very calm, cool and collected character. With that in mind, does this kind of situation suit him, not having to deal with all of that?
This fight week's been perfect for him, and he's probably, you could probably say, I can't even say to you it's been better for him because it hasn't changed him. You know what I mean? This is a normal fight week for him. If he's fighting away from Liverpool, he doesn't move out the hotel anyway. Now and again he'll have a walk for fresh air. But, hotel rooms, Mario Kart with his three brothers, it's being kind of normal for Callum, being around the same part of the team. It's his four brothers, his dad, strength coach, nutritionist, lawyer, Anthony Crawler, and we've got the same bundle here, so it's not much different for Callum.
That's something I was going to ask you, and again I've asked your brothers about it. How important has it been that you've been able to get everybody over here the way that you would when any of you have gone to fight abroad, or even if you fought in the UK? You have got a big team. How important has it been to make sure every single one of you could get out here?
Yeah, that's been probably the plus side to it. It's very hard for Brits to get in the States. That's why there's going to be no Brit fans. But for us, we got access to get everybody over here, and that was beneficial, and that was a plus for Callum, but that also made it be no different for him. Especially imagine us three weren't there, and his dad, it would have been a crazy one, and he'd have probably hated it because fight week he loves being around us three, and we're a close family, and it's not for the cameras, it's not for you medias. We're a very close family, and we'll be a close family long after boxing. You know what I mean? So it's I think he's as comfortable as he can be at the moment.
Who's been winning at Mario Kart?
Ooh, Callum, Paul. At the minute, Callum and Paul are both shared it.
Paul did say that you're more of a FIFA man.
Yeah, I'm more of a FIFA and thingy man, but we were stuck on. We were playing Mario Kart. You know what I think it might be? I was the man on Mario Kart when we were in Phoenix, but I was fighting. So now Callum and Paul, is it like whoever's fighting, we're letting them win, so the confidence is high? But no, it's good games.
Well, Beefy, I will say that FIFA is the only game I play. So if you find yourself with a spare 20 minutes, I'm sure that I could take time out of my day to get revenge. We'll have to sort something out then, Beefy. But getting back to the fight week itself, I know when I came up the day after the fight was announced, and I saw yourself and Cam Johnson share the ring with your brother, some sparring, working with him through this camp. Talk to me about the experience of helping prepare your brother with only a month's notice for the biggest fight of his life and his career so far.
Just like, I was sparring him long before you come, a couple of weeks before it was announced. You know, we were doing moving around, just get timing. And then obviously I've had my input in his whole camp as much as I can and as much as I was needed. But it's, you know, he's had more than 4 weeks notice, as in he was going to fight December 19th anyway. He's in very good shape here now. Obviously you can see that with how good his weight is. Now I thought at the time like maybe Canelo was 4 weeks notice because of the weight situation, but no, Callum's trained well, had a good camp, and again, like, we're here in numbers, he's here to win. He's not here to, you know, take his money and run. He's here to defend his title, to go home with his belts and, you know, announce himself to the world of boxing.
Yesterday, well, this will go out tomorrow in the UK, but yesterday we saw them both face off for the first time. It's the first time everybody would have seen them side by side, and he certainly got a big reaction over social media, seeing just how big the difference in size was. I know that Callum would have again been with you when you fought Canelo, but was it a surprise to you at all when you was looking at them, sizing them up, and what did you make of it?
No, I wasn't surprised because we knew. I've stood face to face with Canelo. I don't think he's grew in inches, you know, from 26 years of age till 30 years of age. So I knew he was no bigger than when I fought him. Obviously, he might have grew outwards and put muscle on, but he's obviously hasn't gone bigger in height from 26 to 30. So I knew there was going to be a substantial height difference, but you know, there's been a big reaction since that head-to-head, and it's great to see people now saying, oh, Smith. But for me, it just shows kind of sometimes how fickle it is a little bit. You know, before Callum boxed Ryder, people were saying he's the man to beat Canelo, he's this. You know, has a bit of a lacklustre performance against Ryder, and then, he's shit, and Canelo fucks him, and things like that. But now they've had the head-to-head, you've got people saying, oh no, I fancy Smith because of the head-to-head, and that's just how, you know, fickle sport is a little bit, and boxing is, because if that was the case, you know, big men would win every fight. But it just goes to show. But the size obviously is a big plus if Callum uses it right when he needs to. Callum's not going to use his side and just jab and try and run away. You know, he can stand and fight, and he's very good at standing in the pocket, but he needs to box a clever fight and do it when needed.
One talking point that's kind of maintained throughout is the fact that there is not a rehydration clause. It was something that many kind of expected Canelo to maybe ask for. Was it a surprise to you that there wasn't one inserted? I spoke to Stephen earlier, he said that they only came back to ask for one after the contracts and everything had been agreed, so by then obviously I know that it would have been impossible.
Yeah, I do feel it was a mistake on their behalf. Now, not a mistake, whether it's a huge mistake, we're yet to see, but it was a mistake as in the contract was signed and then they come on to put that in and it was too late, the fight was done. So, you know, the rehydration clause, obviously Canelo wants that. Now, Canelo's been known over the past for putting so much weight on, but, you know, how big can he go? You know, from fighting me at 154, 11 stone, he could maybe get to 12 stone 10, a stone 10 pound, maybe, you know, 24 pounds. I got told he put 25 pounds on. At the time I thought it was an exaggeration. When I got in the ring with him, I fully believed it because I put 17 on myself. But then, you know, then he moves up to 11.6. So your natural hydration, he only puts then 18 pounds on. Now he's gone to 168. He may only put 12, 13 pounds on. You know what I mean? He's only a naturally small man. So I think they'll both probably be 13 stone mark. Callum may be a touch heavier than 13 stone.
as I said to you, and as you obviously know, you've been sharing the ring with him. You know what Callum's been preparing for in Canelo come Saturday night. So what should everybody be in store for? What are you expecting Canelo to bring into the ring that will obviously be very different to what you faced when you fought him?
Yeah, obviously he's got to punch up. He's got a big height advantage that he's got to, big reach advantage that he's got to make up. He's got to get inside. He's got to get very close to Callum. But he's also a sharp fighter. He can also land. I've seen him fight all the fighters before. When you're that sharp, you can kind of cheat your way in a little bit. You can land jab. But I think Canelo comes out and does not much early on. I think first round especially, he has a look at Callum, pops his head in, pops his head out, to see what Callum's reactions are, see if Callum can punch and whatever else. Then I think, once both fighters feel each other's power, I think the fight catches fire, and I think it's a top fight.
Asked Joe, and I've asked your brothers this, and I'll ask you as well. A lot's been made of kind of in the past. Canelo's had some favourable decisions on points, so if it's gone to the cards, and in Texas we've seen some dubious decisions with other fights as well. Is it a concern of yours if it goes to the cards, if we see a brilliant performance from Canelo-Smith and most people think that he should be awarded the decision, that it doesn't go his way?
No, I'm not worried about it. I'm not concerned about it at the moment. If Callum puts in a top performance, boxes to as well, he's not in no control. The judges are in control of that. And if they rob him, then they rob him. And I'm sure, people will speak their opinions on that after it. And there's not much you can do about that, but I'm not concerned over at the moment. I'm just confident in Callum. I'm confident if he performs to as good as I know he is, he wins. And then on the flip side too, I fully believe he can win inside the distance also.
How much more would you feel we've got to see of Callum? Because we've always seen that whenever he's had to step up, he's always delivered an even better performance. You go back to his British title win over Rocky Fielding, stopped him in the first round. His victory over George Grove stopped him in the 7th biggest fight of his career to date up until Saturday. I spoke to Paul earlier and he mentioned when Callum fought for the English title, stopped his man in one round. How much more do you feel that he has to offer, and how much do you feel he will rise to the occasion on Saturday?
I think, and I know him, I've known him all his life. I know what fear factors he has, and I know he's got a fear factor in this, and he's had fear factors in them fights. Every fight he's had where people have picked he maybe had to lose. I'll go as far back as Patrick Mendy. People said it was a step up too far too soon, and I know it was only an English title, but Mendy was giving everyone a rough, tough time. And people saying he weren't really known as a puncher back then, Callum, but he was on a bit of a run of stoppages, and he stopped Mendy in round one. Fielding, people in the city of Liverpool especially were saying, Fielding wins, and then you see on social media people saying we could win and all that, but then every time he's picked Mohammedi, European title, Callum blows him away. He's produced when he's had to.
Now I don't know if there's a disco about to start or if as for Eddie Hearn, who's going to be appearing in any moment, but listening to this song, Liam, as it's just come on, Sweet Caroline, a song that all of you guys have walked out to, or not walked out to, but you've heard just before you're going to walk out. How good is it a game that you won't be able to actually have that little bit of an experience on Saturday? You won't have those British fans out there being able to sing along to it?
Yeah, obviously it's good to them. There's 12,000 fans there, which is very good because it's going to be very good to hear noise. And but it's a bit of a shit that the UK fans can't come, because I know a lot would. But again, we have to just go with, again, say it again, play the hand we're dealt. It's just a situation we're in the world, and there's other Brits who can't come here for different reasons. We've just got to live with it, and again, he's got to perform as if there was thousands of Brits there. He's got to just perform to the best of his ability, and if he does that, I feel he's got a massive chance, put it that way.
Liam, just a couple more quick ones from me. Firstly, Callum successful on Saturday night. Where does this rank in kind of the history of boxing wins over in Britain, and what would it mean for you guys as a family to see that?
It's got to be up there, the best, if not top 3 Brits winning. For me, it probably is the best win. Canelo Alvarez is a top fighter, 4-weight world champion. As a family, it just adds to what we've done. It makes us so proud of Callum. We've got a brother who's one of the best fighters in the world, pound for pound, and It'll be a huge achievement for us. Callum be unified champion. That's another thing to add to our family. We've got 2 world titles. That'll be the 3rd. It'll also be one of our brothers have been unified champion, and just makes us proud that people will look at it and think, you know what, they've done all right then, to be fair.
And then moving forwards, Liam, away from Callum onto yourself, we haven't seen anything as of yet, but have you got any update as to what might be going on with yourself? I know Jessie Vargas will be at the fight on Saturday, so do you think you might have a little word with him? Or
yeah, obviously, I've said we'll have a bit of not a laugh, but I spoke to him about fighting. Eddie mentioned about us fighting, so I think it's time for the two of us to get together, grab Eddie, grab a camera and say, what are you doing? And it puts Eddie on the spot a little bit. And it might draw a little bit of attention, but I can't really complain too much. We're going through a pandemic and there's a lot of fighters not fighting at the moment, so talking about the big 2021 for boxing, why not start with that in January, February, probably not January now, obviously, but February, me and Vargas put on a bill, whether it be the States, whether it be UK. I think it's a very good fight, and it's one that should be done. Not really hard to make. He wants it, I want it. So it shouldn't be hard to make. So hopefully we can get Eddie, pin him down this week, and get him to do this fight.
I think that may be difficult because I don't know what his plans are for the Triple G fight on Friday night, whether he'll be going back and forward. So
yeah, he is. Yeah, he's back and forth, but he'll be here. I'll get him.
All right, Liam, I'll leave you now to enjoy the rest of your evening. Pleasure to speak to you, and thanks for speaking to Boxing Social.
Nice one, mate. Thanks.